Good morning, everyone. Hopefully everyone was able to get a cup of coffee and a Danish and settle in. Good morning. I'm Richard Griffin. I'm Director of Economic Development for the City of Frederick, and we welcome you here to City Hall on this rainy morning. At 5:30 this morning, when I got up to make my first cup of coffee, I sent the dog out on the back porch, and he looked at the rain and turned right around and came back in. So I'm sure that we're going to still have others trickling in during the course of the morning, and that's fine. Just a couple housekeeping things in the event that you do need a restroom. There is a restroom out in the hallway. You can just head out there. The security guard can show you where it is. We have hopefully a really exciting presentation for you this morning. And of course, the slides we'll make available to you on our website so that you can download them if you like, okay? We're going to go ahead and get started with a little video.
Thinking about starting a business? In the city of Frederick, your imagination knows no bounds. With the Department of Economic Development's help, you can take the leap to become an entrepreneur. We'll help you fire up your business plan. See the resources around you, build relationships with community partners, and create a clear, clean path to opening your business. Together, we will plant your ideas and watch them grow. Let's get your business off the ground. Contact the City of Frederick for resources to start your small business today.
That video is the video that we produced that is shown as a trailer before the movies at Warehouse Cinema. So we're out there promoting actively to our residents about the opportunities that there are here in the city of Frederick for entrepreneurs to start their own businesses and connect with resources. As we get started, I want to introduce the mayor, but before I do that, I want to just say that economic development is a multi-pronged approach, and we're going to get into some of the details of that. But the Maryland Economic Development Association did an analysis over the course of the last year using data from across the state of Maryland and determined that over $8.18 is returned in communities for every dollar invested in economic development. And that's on average across the state, but the investment that's being made in economic development, both here in Frederick and across the state, has significant returns. And the tagline of the Maryland Economic Development Association is economic development transforms lives. We know that at the end of the day, that after family and religion, that globally, when asked what they value the most, jobs is one of the top things that globally people value the most. Being able to work, live, play in the same community. So without any further ado, I want to introduce our mayor, Michael O'Connor, to come up and make a few opening remarks.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here on a rainy day to not turn around and just go back in and go to bed like Richard's dog does. My dogs don't even go to the door. They hear the rain and they just stop. Appreciate you being here. I want to first start by saying the work that we do in the city of Frederick, particularly from an economic development perspective, would not be possible without Richard and his team. They are outstanding ambassadors across a broad threshold of work that gets done in the city every day, and their ability to collaborate with our partners in the county, and I see some of our county partners in the room, the state is in the room as well, and the federal government on projects where it's relevant is what makes a difference here in Frederick. We do this, I would say, as well as anywhere in the state in terms of collaborating across governments, and the private sector, the public sector, and the nonprofit sector all coming together. And the Chamber and the Downtown Frederick Partnership and Visit Frederick as other partners in the public sector certainly have a lot to do with why that works. This just to give you a little bit of an insight into where we are as the city of Frederick. You can see on the left a new map of our election districts within the city of Frederick. We changed the charter back in the fall. The Board of Aldermen voted to One, change their name from Board of Aldermen to City Council, and two, amongst a number of changes, to create legislative districts in the city of Frederick. So when voters go to the polls this fall, for the first time, they will be voting both for some at-large council candidates in addition to individuals who are running specifically within those districts as they're outlined. You can see from the relative size, somewhat it's people who vote. So, the districts are aligned based on numbers of voters, and they're all within a very close margin to each other at the beginning. But you can look and see, particularly in that District 3, that a lot of the land that's in District 3 encompasses the airport, some of our industrial and employment properties on the east side of the city, which is why that one looks so much bigger. The number of people in each one of these districts is roughly the same. The city of Frederick is one of the fastest growing communities in the state of Maryland and across the metropolitan Washington area. I do believe that that is because we've done a fantastic job of making Frederick a desirable place for people to want to live. And so the pressure on people who want to come here, who want to share in the quality of life that we have in the city of Frederick, I think is one of the reasons why we're seeing growth. I think the reality is there's also places in the state of Maryland that have certainly made it much more difficult and don't necessarily want growth, whatever that looks like. That could be residential or commercial. We in the city of Frederick are open to both, and our challenge is to make sure that as we continue to grow in all of the ways that occurs, that we're doing that with all of our partners in mind. We have to make sure that we're providing adequate transportation infrastructure, adequate school infrastructure, adequate public facilities, in addition to working with our partners that provide things like transit services and other supports across the county and the state. I mentioned a little bit of the charter. It creates a little bit of a clearer line between the office of the mayor and the city council. Up until December of this year, I was presiding at city council meetings. As a result of the changes in the charter, I don't do that anymore, so it makes the executive and the legislative branches a little bit more clear. You'll see that in the county, for example. The county executive doesn't preside at county council meetings. The governor doesn't preside in the General Assembly, and the president doesn't preside in Congress. So it somewhat models the way in which we're used to looking at how government functions. We have spent a lot of time and energy over the last number of years trying to make sure that in addition to what people see in terms of growth, that we have a vision for some specific projects that we want to make sure that we get done. And they're listed up there in terms of some of the big ones that we've undertaken over the last number of years. The police headquarters project is on its way. We are expecting some kind of a public open house sometime next month. We have to do that before the building actually becomes the home of the police department, because once the building sort of gets locked down as a police agency, our ability to let the public walk through it at will is a little bit more difficult. So we want to do that before the building is finally open and occupied, and we're hoping that's going to happen sometime in the early to mid part of June. We are continuing to make progress on the Downtown Hotel and Conference Center project. That's been a long effort of a lot of partners, and we've been very grateful for the state of Maryland, who has joined that effort over the last couple of years in providing some support into that project. It's been a long-standing, if you go back to the Ron Young administration, the administration that started the Carroll Creek Flood Control Project, and every time it rains, I say a little prayer of thanks for the Carroll Creek Flood Control Project, because the reason why we have a downtown that's as vibrant as it is right now is because there was vision back there to do a project that was not just about diverting water, but about creating opportunity as well. And even then, a hotel on the creek was something that was envisioned, and so we're very excited about that process and progress that continues to be made. We've worked very hard with the county to partner on the West Side Regional Park. That was 148 acres that the city bought back in 2008, 2009. It takes a while to get these projects moving, but we've made steady progress over the intervening years to put in a spine road that makes access to the park more easy, working with Sophia Madigan's Playground on that destination playground. relocation of a Little League ball diamond is going to come there. We have graded some sports fields that are happening. We tried to do that in a more cost-effective way a couple of years ago, and it simply didn't take, and so we're making the investment necessary in order to make sure that we've got really good playable fields out there. We're in the design process. A bid is being awarded. If it hasn't already been awarded, it's going to be awarded within the next 2 weeks on the design and engineering for a community center at Westside Regional Park, something to support that side of the city, as well as working with the county on getting a library located on the west side of the city of Frederick, actually not far from where Westside Regional Park is located. And as a big baseball fan, one of the projects that I'm super excited about is the $40 million that the Maryland Stadium Authority awarded to the city of Frederick and Harry Grove Stadium to do enhancements to a facility that's 30 years old and hadn't really gotten many enhancements over those 30 years. And this is going to create an opportunity for the city to reattract affiliated minor league baseball. We lost that when Major League Baseball contracted a few years ago. Not because Major League Baseball thought that there wasn't support for minor league baseball in Frederick. We lost it because our facility simply didn't meet the standards that it needed to meet in order to get affiliated minor league baseball. And with these improvements, completely supported through the General Assembly, and we thank them for their support in authorizing this fund. That funding is going to build better player amenities. We've had really smart architects. One of the architects that's been working on this project with the team ownership is a woman named Janet Marie Smith. Those of you who are baseball people or sports people may know that name. She is responsible for the architecture for Oriole Park at Camden Yards. So she is, if there was a Mount Rushmore of athletic complex architects, Janet Marie Smith would be on it. And she's working on the project that we've got happening in Frederick. So we're really excited about that as well. Hopefully 2026. We're going to have baseball in that stadium this summer, the Major League Baseball Draft League, but hopefully in 2026 we'll see affiliated minor league baseball. Even though the Orioles aren't playing the best right now, my hope is that that's who they're affiliated with as well. We are home to a lot of things that make this, as I said earlier, I think a really desirable community. And one of the things that I talk about a lot with my staff, and I say it when I'm out in the community, is I want Frederick to be a full-service community. I want all kinds of people at all kinds of income levels with all kinds of interests to be able to find something in Frederick that they can be attracted to. And I think we do a great job with that. We're the home to Fort Detrick, a campus of about 10,000 employees every year. Only about 1,500 of them are employees that are in uniform, but those 10,000 employees that move through that gate every day are a significant driver of the economy here in Frederick. They live in the neighborhoods, not just around the fort, but all around the city. And I think that our concern right now with what may be happening at the federal government is the impact that that could have on that federal footprint. And our task, I think, is to do everything in our power to make sure that we preserve what that installation and the research capabilities that it has means for this community. The fact that we're the home to Fort Detrick is why we're the home, I think, in part to the Frederick National Laboratory for Cancer Research, a really important get for this community. It puts us on par at a national level with places like Los Alamos and Lawrence Livermore, these national laboratories designated by Congress that do really important work in research and development. The Frederick Municipal Airport, believe it or not, the city does own an airport. Not everybody knows that, but that is ours. Andrew Moore is our airport manager and does a fantastic job. A couple of years ago, for the first time in a really long time, the airport became debt-free. And that was a really important step. We had been in acquisition mode for a number of years, and our ability to pay off that land debt and actually own everything that's on that facility out right now is creating tremendous opportunities for us to look at how we continue to leverage the airport as a growth opportunity for the city of Frederick. And we're looking at some hangar development out there. We've got a backlog of people that want to put their planes at our airport. I'm sure this is going to get talked about later. Richard, this is going to get talked about later, the value of the airport. I don't need to go into all those numbers. You've got all that. Perfect. AstraZeneca, we talk about having about 4,000 businesses in the city of Frederick. AstraZeneca is the largest one of those in terms of its contribution to the city's tax base. And Richard always says this, so I'm going to steal a line that he might be using later as well. 20 years ago, the #1 tax-paying entity in the city of Frederick was the Frederick Town Mall. Today, the #1 tax-paying entity in the city of Frederick is AstraZeneca. And so that tells you a little bit about how economic patterns has shifted and how the economic center of this city has shifted. Our reliance on life sciences and biosciences and all of those connected industries, Fort Detrick drives a lot of that, is why we're seeing and did see, even during periods of great uncertainty, a continued growth and expansion in other communities. We're not seeing that kind of thing that was happening. We're home to, it says 2 higher education institutions, but I'm going to make sure that Frederick Community College gets thrown in there as well, and I count Mount St. Mary's, even though it's not physically inside the city, their campus in Frederick. It's close enough that I'm going to take credit for it, because I think having those 3 colleges and universities in such close proximity to Frederick also gives us a great resource of talent for the businesses that come to town, and great opportunity for partnerships to make sure that as individuals are moving through those institutions, that our employers have the first crack at some of the best, smartest, most educated people they get their hands on at a young age. We're home to this wonderful 40-block historic district in downtown Frederick, one of the largest preserved historic districts anywhere. So in addition to seeing the growth and development, we have placed a strong emphasis on how do we retain that which makes us unique to who we are. And I will not let it not be said that our willingness to at times make the difficult choices to preserve that historic district is why we see the benefits of what we have in Frederick today. We would not be the downtown we are today, and we would not be the city we are today if 60 years ago, 70 years ago, the decision to create this historic district had not been made, and we had not done all of the work necessary in the intervening years to make sure that we preserve the best inventory that we have in downtown, and to allow new opportunities to occur that are in concert with what that district represents. I think it's really critical to who we are as a community, and it gives us our identity. 76 parks in the city of Frederick. That's always a number that surprises people, so that's a lot of public land that we maintain every day. We have a great city staff across the city of Frederick, 600 plus employees every day that come to work and keep the streets clean and the parks mowed and the traffic signals and everything working, a police department that's on the job every day responding to the concerns. We continue to be a low crime relative to our population community, something I'm very proud of, and a department that's really committed to the concepts of community policing in every neighborhood across all demographics, up to and including the establishment of a multicultural liaison unit to make sure that there is no community in the city of Frederick that doesn't believe that they have a direct contact into the city police department when they have a need or a concern. And see our wonderful high wheel bicycles there, and I mentioned the Keys, but we're also home to the Frederick Flying Cows and the Frederick Fire Foxes, 2 other professional sports teams, 1 basketball, 1 soccer, and we hope very soon we'll be home to the Washington Freedom, one of the top American professional cricket teams. And that's a really exciting, it's a kind of a sports guy, so another opportunity to create something in the city of Frederick I think is really exciting, and I can't wait to attend my first cricket match in the city of Frederick. And you've seen a lot of these lists, but we don't necessarily seek out these recognitions, but when you're doing things the right way, the recognition finds you. And that's what happens. People around the state and around the country look to Frederick, come to Frederick. Richard talked a little bit about MEDA earlier. He was the president of the Maryland Economic Development Association over the last year, handed over the gavel, 2 years, I guess you were the president, handed over the gavel last month. I will be wrapping up 1 year as the president of the Maryland Municipal League, which is a statewide association of 161 local governments, advocating and training local leaders all across Maryland. These organizations look to Frederick. They see us as their inspiration, and frankly, for most of them, their aspiration. We are the community that they want to become. And so, you know, our job, and I've said this before, is to make sure that we don't collapse under the weight of our own success. We're having success, but it's very easy to lose sight of what our goals and objectives are. And I think working in concert with our partners, economic development, we understand the community that we want to be, and we're going to continue to work really hard to maintain that, not just for us, because we want this to be a great place for people to live, to work, to play, and for those of you who are entrepreneurs, a great place for you to think about starting a business and growing a business. That's those 4,000 businesses I mentioned earlier. The overwhelming majority, AstraZeneca is somewhat the outlier. The overwhelming majority of them are small businesses, employing fewer than 50 people. But they are the backbone of our economy in Frederick, and we're really proud. So those of you who have business in Frederick, thank you. Thank you for picking Frederick to invest in and to build your business, and hopefully we can continue to support you. For those of you who are allied as partnerships, we appreciate it. We couldn't do it without you. We do this because we're all in it together. Thank you all so much. You're in for a lot of great information today. I'm sure the team has put together something really fantastic for you, so I hope you enjoy and come back to City Hall often. This is your house. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mayor. I think you can see that the city of Frederick we've been standing since 1745. I think we intend to stand for another few years. I think that the trends you're going to see in the data that we're going to show you will show that the city is on the right track and moving in the right direction. I did want to recognize a few of our economic development partners in the room. Rick Weldon, obviously with our Frederick Chamber, the best chamber in the state of Maryland and maybe one of the best in the country for sure. Thank you, Rick. We always appreciate your support and help. Visit Frederick, Dave Zidelis. The Visit Frederick, we have over 2 million visitors a year coming into Frederick and spending now how much in the economy every day? $539 million a year, but in excess of $1 million a day in the economy. Kara Norman with the Downtown Frederick Partnership. Heather, where are you with with East Frederick Rising? I saw her sneak in. There she is back there. Jody Bollinger, the director of Frederick County Economic Development, Office of Economic Development, and her team, some of her team are in here. Who did I miss? I think I missed somebody. Well, in any case, we don't do what we do without the help every day of our economic development partners, and just a shout out to them. Okay, we're going to get on with the show here. We're going to show you some dashboard data, some key projects, and talk about programs that we have. I just want to briefly mention that the theory in economic development is you retain the businesses that you have. You work to expand those businesses because in business, everyone knows that keeping a current client and expanding your business with that client is the bulk of the work. And then attracting new clients, new businesses, is something that we focus on as well. Obviously, neighborhood development, placemaking, the things that attract workforce, and also helping grow our own businesses here in Frederick through entrepreneurship. So all of these are economic development pillars that we focus on every day and that we track metrics in. So the mayor mentioned, the growth in the community. Well, over the last 20 years, we've grown from 53,000 to over 90,000, they're saying now today. This slide, I think, shows 84, but I think they're saying that we're actually really over 90,000 people now in the city. Our number of businesses has increased from 3,500 to over 4,000 businesses over that same time frame. We see an 11% increase in the number of businesses in the city over the last 5 years. We're adding and going to about 50 new business openings a year here in the city. And then we've done an analysis of all the projects that have either recently been completed, are under construction, in site plan, or in the pipeline. And we have over almost 10.3 million square feet of non-residential, commercial, industrial buildings that are, and land that are planned for development. And what has that resulted in? We've gone from 28% of our tax base being non-residential to over 34% of the tax base being non-residential. Just as an aside, the county currently stands at about 22%. Now, that's not surprising. They have a lot of agricultural land out there that it is, an open space that takes up a lot of that that area. But what I want you to see is that this is moving in the right direction. This trend of us moving the amount of tax base from residential to non-residential commercial taxpayers is occurring. And this is a bit of an eye chart, but I want you to focus on the very bottom line. 10.3 million square feet of buildings that have either been recently completed, are under construction, in site plan, or are in the pipeline for development in the city of Frederick. Now, what does this mean realistically? It means that when businesses come to the city of Frederick and they want a location, our incredible commercial brokers out there have product that they can show, either a piece of land or a building or a space or something that's turning over. And this is important because if businesses come to the community and they can't find a piece of land, if they can't find a building, if they can't find a space, and it can't be provided in the time frame that they need in order to be able to occupy it, then we'll lose that opportunity to another community, and sometimes to another community outside the state of Maryland. And what does it mean for the city of Frederick as a piece of Frederick County? We're only about 3.5% of the land size of Frederick County, but we contribute almost 30% of the population. We contribute about a quarter of the tax base, about 42% of the businesses, almost half of the jobs. 29, almost 30% of the labor force is physically located in the city of Frederick. And you don't have to go very far from Frederick into some of the Midwest cities to see cities that don't have these kind of statistics, where they've been left with very little development opportunity, with very few jobs, with high poverty rates. And the city of Frederick is moving all the needles in the opposite direction and being a major contributor to the economic success of both the county and to the state of Maryland, and we're proud of the numbers that we're posting. And of course, you can look at the major private employers in the community, and this is just a list of the top 20, but you can see that there are significant investments that have been made and increases in the number of employees that these employers have made over the years, and we obviously want to keep them. We want to keep them growing here in Frederick, and we want to add new ones to the list. And then the mayor mentioned the public employers in the city. I mean, it's not lost on us that there are individuals in our community that work for both federal, state, and local government, and they are important to our economy as well. A former garrison commander, Mark Hoke, who started the Fort Detrick Alliance, used to say, "I wish that every payroll at Fort Detrick was paid out in silver dollars, so that every business, every gas station, every grocery store, landlords would see the dollars coming in out of Fort Detrick into the community and supporting the community." So these employers are important to us too, and we are tracking, obviously, the state of affairs on the federal side. I'm going to turn it over real quick now to Mary Ford-Nail. Now, many of you know Mary is the manager of economic development, and she does an incredible job. She serves on a number of different boards and represents our community very well out there working with businesses every day. I also wanted to recognize the fact that she happened to have a birthday yesterday. So if everybody will just join me in saying, "Happy birthday, Mary." And come on up and give everybody an overview of our key projects going on. And in a moment, you'll hear from Kennedy Wilson, who is our newest employee, who will give you some information on programs.
Thanks, Richard. Well, again, thanks for all of you coming out in this lovely weather today. So we're going to talk, just to kind of put it in a snapshot, we have several key industries that we focus on, especially when we're dealing with attracting new projects here. Life sciences, advanced manufacturing technology, healthcare and so forth, and tourism and hospitality, which is a huge sector here in Frederick. So we're going to talk a little bit about, just give you a quick overview of some of the major commercial development opportunities that are here in Frederick. And I'm going to go over these 5 key projects that are within the city limits. And there it goes. Okay, so we have Ballinger Center Business Center. I just drove out there, like the buildings went up, they're amazing. There's businesses that are going to be moving in there. This is out near the Frederick News Post building off Ballinger Center Drive. So there's a lot of flex space available, a lot of capacity there. So if you haven't been out in that area of town, go out there and check it out. There's amazing opportunities out there that's being developed by Ballinger Creek Development Center. Okay, there we go. Progress Labs. So Progress Labs is a concept that Matin has, and they have it here in Frederick as well as in Montgomery County, and it's a combination of different opportunities. Here in Frederick, they have both development sites, they have buildings that are available, and we'll talk about one of those buildings that was just recently tenanted. But just know that there are some greenfield sites. There's a site available that has site plan approval already. And again, some great opportunities for some businesses to locate here in Frederick. The Brickworks property, that's on the east side. I know Heather would be, with East Frederick Rising, is always a great resource for if you want to know everything about this project. It's amazing. This is a key gateway to the city of Frederick. And so we're looking at, future restaurant, retail, grocery, housing. Just an amazing development. I would encourage you to dig in a little bit and just understand the full capacity and how that's going to change the whole visual of coming into that side of town. Frederick Commerce Center, that's Gas House Pike. You've seen a couple of those that large building go in over there. So they have one building constructed. We have a Canadian company that came in 2003, 2024. Matree, and there are others coming. We can't tell you who there are, but there's others coming. So know that there's a building there, but there's also some development sites out there with some additional buildings, as well as they annexed in some properties that were formerly farms that were right adjacent to our airport, and those are going to also be some light industrial opportunities. So if you're interested in that kind of project, please check out Frederick Commerce Center. And this was pretty exciting. Within this last fiscal year, there's actually been a groundbreaking for this new building, a series of buildings out on the other side of the airport with visibility to I-70. And again, light industrial, probably going to be warehouse logistics. This is out near like where the MBA, MBA. So another key project we just want to bring to your attention if you haven't heard about it, this is over on the Golden Mile area. It's a different way of commercial development where you're repositioning a current asset. So this was an existing shopping center. They've done a facade uplift on part of it. Eventually, part of it's going to be demolished, like from Burlington over. And they're going to construct a mixed-use project with ground floor retail and some residential units. So it's a way to be able to take an older, aging shopping center and reposition it for some really great things, exciting things happening on the Golden Mile area. Another phenomenal project we have in our downtown is the Visitation Hotel, where you took a former convent, former girls' school that was vacant, and repositioned this asset into an amazing hotel, restaurant facility. How many have been to the restaurant, right? Or Visitation Hotel? Yeah, it's just amazing. If you haven't toured it, the general manager would be happy to take you through a tour of the facility. So if you haven't toured it, please do that. I'd be happy to connect you. And just know it's a huge investment in our community, and it's one of those things that tend to be destination marketing. So we will have people coming from throughout the region. And we've already had some celebrities stay there, I'll just tell you that. So there's definitely been some people from Hollywood that have been there. This is a signature project. Been working on this for years. Rick, how many years? I don't even want to guess. 30 years. We're finally about ready to cross that finish line. This is just an exciting project. If you don't know where it's located, it's going to be right on Carroll Creek. it's going to be a game changer for our community. We need both hotels. We need the boutique hotel and we need this conference center hotel. So there are some of the numbers. It's going to create jobs. It's going to bring some huge opportunities. And we had Governor Wes Moore came to our community to do an official demolition, groundbreaking of the former press room. They took off the back of that one building. That's just the start of what you're going to see over there. And what's really great about it is that we have investment from the community. We have investment from the city of Frederick, we have investment from Frederick County, and we have investment from the state of Maryland. And combined, that along with a great developer, we are going to have an amazing, amazing facility here in Frederick. So it's coming. It is really coming. We are super excited about this next project. Yay! This is the first of its kind. First of its kind in the state of Maryland. It's under construction now, off of East Street. Super excited. Meeting space, office space, conference room space. We are so excited. We're so thrilled to have you here today, too, to watch that project go up out of ground. So, another exciting thing, this is exciting. Over on the Golden Mile, the first new VFW post has been constructed across the country in decades. Originally, they owned a building next door. Eventually, that was bought by a developer. The developer then sold the building. The building is now owned by Asian American Center. And the VFW is actually constructing a brand new facility. Go watch it go up. It's exciting. Go support it, or support our veterans in our community. The mayor already talked to you again about this key project, which is the police headquarters. You've seen the solar arrays. How many have seen the solar arrays? That's a cool feature, right? I love that they did that with the project. It is coming soon. They're doing the finishing touches. Stay tuned for more details on that project. Now, this is a project that Richard's been very pivotal in with the stadium project. We've been able to get an amazing amount of renovations. They just had an official, check out the Frederick News Post article about it. You can see the concept there about adding some additional locker rooms and so forth and space for the players. Exciting project. It takes a whole team. It takes a village to be able to pull these kind of projects together. And the support of having the state of Maryland, support from the Stadium Authority is pivotal in having this come. And we want to bring that kind of baseball back here to Frederick. And this is perhaps one of the most exciting things. When we have those development projects, we're often working on attraction to try to bring that project to our community. And often we are competing with other counties in Maryland and other states in the country. And these projects take time to bring them across the finish line. We worked on this project a long time, and I would say, it was the city, it was the county, it was the state. And we worked very collaboratively behind the scenes, and they said, we like Frederick. So they went to Progress Labs. This is the brand new section on the end of the former Wells Fargo building. And JLG said, we like it, we like Frederick, we want to be here. So this is coming. They're doing their tenant fit out. There'll be new jobs created, high-tech type jobs. Exciting project to actually land here in our community. Very exciting for Frederick. And thank you to all our team players who worked very collaboratively to bring that across the finish line. Here we go. And just a couple of, we talked about business expansion. Richard talked that a lot of what we're doing in economic development, yes, we land those big projects, but a lot of it is our homegrown growth. It's the companies that are here that are either growing out of our incubator accelerator program, or they're just growing naturally from their current footprint into something larger. So we have Biofactura that was a first in our incubator program, grew into another space. It just expanded and added additional space, and they're doing some amazing work. And then you have people like Frederick Book Arts that went from one building to another building. You have Kiosk Group that was in a space and added additional space adjacent to them. And the same thing with Shieldco. They have one location here, and then they acquired another, well, they leased another location in Frederick. So we see that natural growth, and we're here to help in economic development. If you hear of a company that needs that kind of assistance, we pull together our partner team and try to get them all the resources they need to do that kind of growth. So without further ado, I'd like to call up my colleague at the airport, Andrew Moore, and he's going to tell you about some exciting things that are happening at FDK.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Thank you, Mary. Andrew Moore, Airport Manager out at Frederick Airport. This is your community airport, and I bet you didn't know this is actually an international airport as well. So we have a few people that fly out internationally. So as a snapshot to your airport, we are the second busiest airport in Maryland after BWI. We have about 100,000 operations. We have 7 businesses that are based on the field, and it holds about 200 direct jobs that report directly to the airfield. So if the airfield didn't exist, those jobs would go away. We manage an airfield, but we're actually a property manager. So we manage about 250,000 square feet of lease space, mostly hangars and office space. And that's how we make the majority of our revenue to run the airport. As a metric to understand the demand out at the airport, I've thrown these 2 things in here. We are fully leased on all offerings we have at the airport, and we've been that way for over a year now. So it just gives you some perspective on the demand that people need these services at the airport. We also have a 7-year hangar wait list. So if you want a hangar in Frederick, you would have to wait at least 7 years. You can see in this picture with the corporate aircraft and the hot air balloon, I use this picture a lot. It explains to people what general aviation is, right? So what a general aviation airport is everything but ticketed airline service. So those are 2 commercial activities happening at Frederick Airport in the same day, in the same airport, right? A hot air balloon and a corporate charter jet. You can see we have our Frederick Festival of Flight, September 27th, 2025. It's a free event. It welcomes everybody in the community out to their airport to see what they have to offer, including Trooper 3. And you can see here we have the first in Maryland electric aircraft and electric aircraft charger in Maryland. And that aircraft actually came into the airport and will eventually be running cargo and research organs through the system. Let's see here. So if you're wondering why an airport is an economic development asset, it's very comparable to the interstate highway system. We're just a transportation asset. We allow people to do commerce quickly and more competitive using aviation. Okay, so moving forward, to put this into some perspective, there has been no new space built at Frederick Airport in 24 years. And we believe we've modified our model a little bit, and we have potentially 2 hangar projects coming up. One is a South Corporate apron expansion with new pavement, new apron, and up to $14 million of 7 hangars going in down there that will attract businesses and operators. And the other one is a 100 hangar midfield project for box hangars. And that's probably up to about $30 million of investment. And both of these are moving forward to final lease negotiation now. So we're pretty excited about that, and we also have more opportunities for development out there. If anybody's interested, come by, give us a call, email me. And with that, I think I'll turn it back over to Mary. Thanks.
And before we turn this over, if you have a Toyota and are parked in one of the council members' spaces, it's 7GG3836. A Toyota, please move. We don't want to have you towed. Got it? No, he's not. We don't know if it's him. So if you have a Toyota and you're parked over, and that's those diagonal spaces right behind here. So now I'd like to turn things over to this lady. She came to our company, to our organization in February, and she's been rocking it ever since. I'd like to introduce you to Kennedy Wilson, and she is our business development specialist.
Good morning, everyone. As Mary stated, my name is Kennedy Wilson. Hi, transit team. I am a business development specialist for the City of Frederick Department of Economic Development. So let's get rocking and rolling. Okay. How's that? That's better? All right. All right. So no matter what stage of your business journey you find yourself in, you always need programs and resources. Do we agree? All right. So our job in our department is to connect you to those resources, no matter where you find yourself in your business journey. One of those ways is supporting entrepreneurship, the early stages of business formulation. We offer resources, collaborations with various partners, and those connections. We make warm introductions should you not know an industry leader or a key player. We might make an introduction to Mr. Rick Weldon. You never know. For a while, Mary has been conducting office hours at FITCI. FITCI is the technology incubator, and she does that on a monthly basis. We have since added Centro Hispano de Frederick and Asian American Center of Frederick. So I will be there, since Golden Mile is my territory, to connect with and inform and educate those who want to do business. Such a robust list of resources we offer. Site selection is one of them. We offer complimentary property reports, business startup services. We have meetings. We welcome walk-ins. We have business site visits, and we have a startup guide. Our startup guide is currently in the works for the 2025 edition, but our 2024 edition is online for you to reference. It is a great tool and checklist for starting a business. It goes through permits, licenses, location, all of those great features. Incentive programs, we have promotional assistance. Our social media is great. We love to grant exposure to small businesses and those who are doing great things in the business community. One of our other promotional pieces is the PR Frederick, which is co-funded by City and County Economic Development. It is a free press release service. We ask that all businesses who are experiencing milestones and want to celebrate and want to get the word out, they send it to us, and we disseminate that to thousands of media platforms. Sometimes it gets picked up by somebody cool, so you never know. Grand openings and anniversaries. We have our monthly newsletter that we send out, and we'll be sending out this week, so please subscribe. That is where we initially, and social media, disseminate those resources and updates, grants, those good stuff. SCORE, SBDC, Maryland Women's Business Center. Those are our small business resource partners. Small Business Development Center is what SBDC stands for. We have local contacts here that offer office hours for any entrepreneur or any business owner at any stage. Again, you can sit down with them at no cost, and they will hold your hand and walk you step by step to whatever it is you're asking. So we often use those partners as our referrals, to help us assist and help those along the way. And SCORE also is a great one. It is a Western Maryland chapter, but they have a great team of sometimes retired professionals, sometimes those who are still active in business, who are willing to be mentors to those who are looking for mentorship. Now I'm going to call back up Mary to discuss FITCI and the exciting things going on over there.
So I just want to kind of, and I'm going to do this because I'm just a little taller than her. FITCI is just such an amazing asset to have in this community. So we say FITCI, it's Frederick Innovative Technology Center, Inc. It's an incubator accelerator program, primarily biotech and tech kind of companies. Again, they just went and did a completely amazing renovation of an office building and turned it into state-of-the-art office, community room, wet lab space. And it's also, which is a really cool thing right now, it's part of the Maryland Global Gateway Soft Landing Program. So just last week, it was last week, right, Jody? I'm losing track of time. We had a group of international companies from many countries tour Frederick, tour this facility, because they want to establish their first U.S. operations here in Frederick. We've done it before. We've had other companies do this before. And so this Global Gateway, this soft landing program, helps acclimate those companies to get their foot in the door in the United States and start their establishment here. And what we hope is they come here in Frederick and those companies grow. And we've already seen it happen. We had a company that we toured. We brought this group of Irish tech companies here about 2 years ago. Within the year, one of them signed on at FITCI. They're now here, it's Pronav. And they've already just expanded and took additional lab space. That's what we want to see. We want to see them come here, say, and he basically posted a testimony saying, It's been everything I expected and more. Frederick is amazing. And we went down to Select USA, which is another site selector thing, to say, hey, how do we get people into our incubator accelerator program? And Jody and I were like, we got one of those companies that just toured a week ago, has said, I'm coming to Frederick. In fact, we're going to be talking to him. He's coming from Turkey. And we're excited to welcome him to our Frederick business community. So again, that team effort here. Here we go. So I'm not going to go through all this economic impact, but just know that for the soft landing piece, there's 14 companies that have come in just because of this state program, and now there's another 18 or more in the pipeline. So it's an exciting opportunity to bring high-tech, biotech, and other medical device and so forth companies here in our community. So as part of that, we do also participate in other types of entrepreneurship programs, and we partner with other organizations. This one is really interesting. It's one that we partner with Frederick Community College, and we are a sponsor along with Katie Stevens is here, the Office of Agriculture for Frederick County. And it's teaching our next generation of food entrepreneurs. And we're talking about caterers, we're talking about food trucks, we're talking about restaurateurs. And they're actually creating new businesses. And the most exciting thing, Kennedy and I went to a grand opening where they came out of this program and they opened a facility at Maryland Bakes. And we got to celebrate in Mardi Gras style
Parade and all.
with that great business. So that's what you want to see. You want to see that our programs are working full cycle, and you want to come out and support those businesses. She Pitch is another one. This is a signature program of the Frederick County Chamber of Commerce. It's been going on a number of years now. We've been at the table from the beginning, helping to sponsor prize money for these entrepreneurs. And we're really happy to say that we've had a number of them that have opened businesses here right in the city. So it's a really exciting time. It's going to be this summer. Please don't miss this one. It's free to attend, and you will want to listen to those stories of these entrepreneurs and watch what they've done as they've gone through the program and how they've grown as entrepreneurs. And I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to you. You want to talk about Empower a little bit and our relationship with Empower?
Yeah, one of our sponsored entrepreneurship programs is Empower. It is through the Frederick County Office of Economic Development. We are a partner with them. They represent underrepresented businesses and minority-owned businesses, and they offer monthly events and networking opportunities. They offer just points of education and collaboration, and every month it's a new chance to meet new people. So I suggest if you do have a business and you are a minority or underrepresented, please join that community. It is very fruitful. One of the main things we also do are business retention visits. As you can see in the corner there, there's Express Signs, Kenny from Express Signs, as we point to Express Signs on sign. Great. They've been open for 17 years. He is a new owner. He was a former employee, so we love to hear those stories. We do retention visits to just check the pulse, check the temperature of our business owners, see what's going on, see what they need, and we do that often. Our door is always open, and we love to keep businesses in Frederick. That is our goal. We offer micro grants. One of the more popular ones is the GROW grant. It is a conditional micro grant that has various criteria for the functionality of a building. It is to kind of increase that functionality in the current and future use of the building. We award those to small businesses who are looking for those improvements, such as fire suppression, such as ADA compliance, such as maybe parking improvements or water impact fees, those type of things. And so for, of course, this fiscal year, as you can see, we've awarded 12 businesses, and we've invested in our community to make sure that they are making sure they have the things they need for their buildings to properly run, and hearing those stories of what improvements are needed that stop their business, and we are able to help them keep the business operating. Those type of stories we love to hear and want to keep continuing in our community. Recent GROW grant projects, you can see here, CDJ Genie Services, they needed a HVAC. Serenity Swimming, they are still working towards their goal of a full build-out of a swimming center. That is a major feat. So I'm glad that our Grow Grant was able to assist in the way that it could, in various Eater Acres and Bruder Brewing Company. So we have various examples of every year of how we improve those capital physical improvements in the building spaces. Tax credit programs. When you're beginning a project or you want to move to Frederick, some people ask about tax credits. So those are valuable resources. On the left here, you see Union Knitting Mills, that is now Union Mills Public House. It took advantage of the historic preservation property tax credit. It is a former historic building and has been transformed into something beautiful. So please take advantage of those tax credits that we have available. I'm back. Energy saving programs. On the right is another example of a business that took advantage of our energy saving program. They used our program to retrofit and reuse infrastructure, charging stations, expanding their recycling, just various initiatives that can boost their commitment to sustainability. Good Jobs, Great Cities. In 2023, we were selected as a city to basically create pathways to build jobs. And since then, we have hit the ground running. The talent pipeline development consists of returnships, apprenticeships, fellowships, and internships. A couple examples of those are the 2025 Construction Trades event that is in partnership with Frederick County Workforce Services and many other partners, and Work Ready Summer Jobs as well. Another example of a workforce initiative is the Biotech Boot Camp. That is coming in July, of course. It is a 4-week free hands-on training. I think it's so valuable that these programs are low to no cost. That means it reduces the barriers to entry. That means all can participate. That means success and community. One of the newer things in our department that we are doing is monitoring and developing just the current economic climate. We identified these current challenges as inflation, of course, the federal job displacement, tariffs, traffic congestion, and so our solutions are job fairs. We have had an excellent one just maybe 2 months ago, Mary, when the governor came, and that was in response to the federal job displacement. So we are always currently and actively working with our state partners just to keep a pulse, be proactive, and not so much reactive to what exactly is going on in our current economic landscape. Also, what's new is business surveys. We want to hear from you. We want to hear exactly what you're thinking, how you're feeling, so that we can gather those insights and build upon those and strategize and make sure that we are meeting your needs now and in the future. So please make sure you're subscribed to our contact list to receive those surveys. One of our main tools is our business startup guide. As you can see there, right now it is electronic. It will be available in print in a couple months as we are working on the newer edition, as I mentioned earlier. It is available in both English and Spanish. And it just has a step-by-step guide on to how to start a business. Our industry overview. This is also one of our tools here. It just has quick facts, just gives us an overlay of what the Frederick landscape is. Resimplify. Earlier I mentioned site selection. Resimplify is another tool that we use alongside with that. It is an interactive web interface on our website where you can see available commercial properties that are available for lease, sale, and so on. And so the county, state, and city all use this platform. So we encourage realtors and those in the real estate industry to please list their properties on this website, and we can tell you how. A lot of people do business in the city, and some do business with the city. Gerard Bowens, wave your hand, is our outreach coordinator for that. So if you would like to learn about procurement and contracting opportunities, please reach out to him. We work hand in hand. And lastly, I'd like to call my team up so we can discuss how economic development is a team effort. Come on up.
Well, hopefully we have had you spellbound for the last hour. It's 9:30. We promised to try to get you out of here on time. But as I mentioned earlier, economic development is a team effort. And I knew I forgot someone when I was looking out there earlier. Suzanne Salek slipped in. She's the executive director of Centro Hispano de Frederick. And we are grateful for the relationship there. Suzanne, thank you for everything you're doing there. Also, Jamie McKay with Transit is here. I saw Max Duget with Frederick County Workforce Services back there. So I'm sure I've missed other people, but this is a team sport. And you all are all part of the team. Our commercial brokers, our individual organizations that are working every day, both geographic and in industry sectors. We could not do it without you. We get to show the pretty pictures and tell the story. Many of these companies, obviously, we're very proud of because we've directly worked with or we've been assisting with as they've made decisions to locate, expand, invest here in Frederick. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It's about creating opportunity for our residents to live, work, and play in Frederick, to have a high quality of life. One of the areas we did not focus on today, which could be a whole nother presentation, is on housing, because we know that our workforce needs places to live, and we need that at all levels. I think you heard the mayor earlier talking about income levels. We have to have housing that meets the income needs or the income capabilities of all of our residents. If you're okay to work here, you should be okay to live here, and we want that to be the case. So with that, if we don't have anything else. Oh, one more slide. Thank you. Keeping me on track. So there's some logos of some of the organizations that we work with. And again, we thank you very much for your time. We are willing certainly to answer questions if you have them. And if you are able to take a muffin or a Danish along with you, please don't leave them here. Although the City Hall staff will consume them the minute you're gone. But please take them with you and get another cup of coffee, talk to your folks.
We have some gift bags.
Oh, we have gift bags. See, they're keeping me on track. We have gift bags over here, gift bags over here. Please make sure that you take a gift bag.
And if I could, one thing. I just wanted to reiterate that there are, because we're hearing so many rumor mills of people that are impacted by the federal job piece and contractors in our community and so forth, that people might be losing their jobs throughout the summer. So there are some programming, so really stay tuned to social media feeds about this. There is one tomorrow, May 28th, tomorrow's night, 29th, right? Take a look at our social media feeds. You can get the details. It's the first of many. We're going to do some that are more industry specific for like biotech and so forth to try to connect people because we want these people to stay here. These are our neighbors. We want them to continue to live here and continue to have opportunity here. So we're trying to connect. If you have people that need connections, please send them our way. We'll work very collaboratively with our workforce partners to try to get those introductions so that maybe can find some opportunity to stay in our community. Okay? Thanks. Please enjoy, and thank you for coming.
Anybody have any questions?
Oh, question.
Specific questions? If not, we can network, have coffee. Great. Thank you very much. Have a great day.